Ever heard of a bouncer becoming a billionaire? It's not the kind of story you hear every day, right? Yeah, me neither, until I met Dana White. This guy's journey is something straight out of a movie. This isn't your typical rags to riches story, it's a tale of grit, determination, and a relentless pursuit of success. This is about a guy who went from breaking up bar fights to building an empire, and let me tell you, the journey is wilder than any fight you'll see inside the octagon. Imagine the chaos of a nightclub, the adrenaline, the unpredictability. Dana thrived in that environment. We're talking about a dude who grew up scrapping, hustling, and always chasing the next big thing. From the rough streets of his childhood to the bright lights of the UFC, Dana's story is one of constant evolution. He wasn't handed a damn thing. Every opportunity, every break, he had to fight for it. Nothing came easy. He fought for every inch, every dollar, every ounce of respect in a world that loves to knock you down. The odds were always against him, but that never stopped Dana. But here's the kicker. Dana didn't just survive, he thrived. He took every setback and turned it into a stepping stone. He turned a dying sport into a global phenomenon. The UFC was on the brink of collapse, but Dana saw potential where others saw failure. He took a bunch of brawlers and turned them into household names. Fighters who were once unknown became superstars under his leadership. And he did it all with a style that's impossible to ignore. His charisma, his drive, his vision, they all played a part in his success. So buckle up, because we're about to dive headfirst into the world of Dana White, the man who made the UFC what it is today. From the gritty streets to the glitzy arenas, this is the story of a true king of the ring. Dana's story starts far from the glitz and glamour of the Vegas Strip. It's a tale that begins in the quiet, unassuming neighborhoods of the East Coast. Born in Connecticut, his childhood was a mixed bag of East Coast grit and unexpected turns. The streets of Connecticut were his first playground, where he learned the value of resilience and determination. He bounced between Connecticut and Maine, getting a taste of two different worlds. The bustling suburban life of Connecticut contrasted sharply with the serene rural landscapes of Maine, offering him a unique perspective on life. Life wasn't always easy, money was tight, and Dana learned to hustle from a young age. He took on various chores and odd jobs, understanding early on that nothing in life comes without effort. He wasn't afraid of hard work, picking up odd jobs to make ends meet. Whether it was shoveling snow, mowing lawns, or delivering newspapers, Dana did it all with a sense of purpose. But amidst the struggles, there was a fire in him, a drive to prove himself. This inner fire pushed him to seek out challenges and opportunities that others might shy away from. He discovered boxing early on, finding solace and strength in the sweet science. The boxing gym became his sanctuary, a place where he could channel his energy and frustrations. Little did he know, this passion for fighting would become his ticket to something much bigger. The discipline and skills he honed in the ring would lay the foundation for his future endeavors. It would lead him down a path less traveled, a path that would test his limits and ultimately redefine a sport. Dana's journey from the concrete jungle to the fight club was just beginning, and it was destined to leave an indelible mark on the world of combat sports. Now picture this. It's the late 90s and the UFC is on life support. The once promising sport is struggling to find its footing and the future looks bleak. The powers that be at the time didn't know what they had. They were lost, unsure of how to market this raw and brutal sport to the masses. They were about to flush it all down the drain, ready to abandon ship and cut their losses. That's when Dana White, along with his childhood friends, the Fertitta brothers, stepped in. They saw something that others didn't. They saw the potential in this raw, brutal sport. They saw the passion, the intensity, and the untapped market waiting to be captivated. They saw the heart of the fighters, the dedication, the sheer will to overcome. They knew that with the right vision and leadership, the UFC could become something extraordinary. So they took a massive gamble, a $2 million gamble to be precise, and bought the UFC. It was a bold move, one that many thought was destined to fail. People thought they were crazy. Critics and skeptics were everywhere, doubting their every move. Human cockfighting, they called it. Politicians wanted it banned. The sport faced immense opposition from all sides. The media wouldn't touch it. Coverage was sparse, and when it did appear, it was often negative. But Dana and the Fertitta brothers, they had a vision. They saw beyond the immediate challenges and focused on the potential. They knew they could turn this thing around. With relentless determination, strategic planning, and a deep belief in the sport, they set out to revolutionize the UFC. And as history would show, their gamble paid off in ways no one could have imagined. The early days of the UFC under Dana White were a wild ride. They were bleeding money, struggling to find venues, battling against negative public perception. It was a constant uphill battle. Dana was working his ass off, putting out fires left and right. He was the matchmaker, the promoter, the PR guy, the janitor, you name it, he did it. But the pressure was immense. They were one bad break, one regulatory setback away from going bust. But Dana, he never backed down. He was relentless, always hustling, always fighting for his vision. The godfather of the octagon. Fast forward to today, and the UFC is a global juggernaut. We're talking billions of dollars, sold-out arenas, and superstars like Conor McGregor and Jon Jones. Dana White took a dying sport and turned it into one of the most exciting and lucrative forms of entertainment on the planet. He's the face of the UFC, the ultimate hype man, the guy everyone knows. He's built a brand, a culture, a movement. He's given fighters a platform to showcase their skills, to become legends. He's changed the game forever. One of the things that always struck me about Dana is his unwavering belief in himself and his vision. He once said, "I don't care if you're the best lawyer in the world, the best accountant in the world, the best PR person in the world. If you don't understand fighting, you don't understand this business." And he's right. Dana's passion for fighting, his understanding of what makes a great fight, is at the core of the UFC's success. He's always looking for the most exciting matchups, the most compelling storylines. He's not afraid to take risks, to shake things up, to keep the fans on the edge of their seats, and that's what makes him such a brilliant promoter. Dana's impact on MMA goes beyond the UFC. He's elevated the entire sport, pushing for better fighter pay, stricter safety regulations, and greater mainstream acceptance. He's a fierce advocate for the athletes, always fighting for their best interests. But his influence extends beyond the cage. He's a successful businessman, a motivational speaker, a pop culture icon. He's shown the world that with hard work, determination, and a little bit of that go F yourself attitude, anything is possible. Now, Dana's not perfect. He's outspoken, he's brash, and he's been known to get into a few feuds. But that's part of what makes him so damn entertaining. He's not afraid to speak his mind, to tell it like it is. But beneath that tough exterior is a guy who's intensely loyal to his friends, his family, and his fighters. He's always there for the people he cares about, always willing to lend a helping hand. He's a complex dude, full of contradictions, but one thing's for sure, he's one of a kind. Dana White's story is far from over. He's still got that fire in his belly, that drive to conquer new challenges. The UFC continues to evolve, pushing the boundaries of combat sports. So, what's next for the King of the Octagon? Who knows, but I guarantee it's gonna be one hell of a ride. And I, for one, can't wait to see what he does next. Because in the world of Dana White, the fight goes on.